Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pickdawgz, and this is Ron's Big Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Now if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my top play in college basketball, that's my Bank Shot Best Bet. You can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Thursday in college hoops. First up, we have Bowling Green and Akron. This is the early game, 11 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Plus. I love weekday, afternoon, and even morning college basketball. That's what you get in the conference tournament schedule, and of course next week with March Madness. But in this game, we see Akron as a sizable favorite. Total is pretty steep at 150. It makes sense. Akron, the best team in the conference, a 17-1 record, and one of the highest scoring and fastest paced teams in the country, as they are 19th in the nation in average possession length offensively, 13th in adjusted tempo. We did fade Akron a few times down the stretch in the regular season. It had mixed results, a few wins, the most notable the victory with Ohio in our MAC game of the month in February. But for me, I do think Akron a little bit overpriced, overvalued in this spot. This is a very solid Bowling Green team that really improved in the second half of conference play. They started 2-7 in the MAC, ended with an 8-10 reasonable record at one point in a 4-game win streak, and their offense may not be stellar, but that defense really sharpened up in those closing games. They're a good three-point defense. They take care of the basketball. They're a good defensive rebounding team. They're disciplined. I think all that bodes well for them here against Akron. I think Bowling Green keeps this game very close. I still think Akron finds a way to win, and they're right now the favorite to win this conference. But I think Bowling Green makes this game very interesting in the final moments, keeps it within single digits. Give me the Falcons plus the points. Next up, it's Arkansas and Ole Miss. This one, 1 p.m. Eastern on the SEC Network. This is the second round game in the SEC tournament. Arkansas was able to get the win over South Carolina on Wednesday. It was a close one, though, and Arkansas had a pretty sizable lead at one point. That lead dwindled in the final moments, and South Carolina was actually able to cover the closing number at 4.5 points. And, for me, I've mentioned consistently this year, I don't love this Arkansas team. I think they were a little bit overvalued, overrated at the beginning of the season when they were in the AP polls somehow in the preseason. They've dealt with some injuries. They're still, I would say they're definitely playing better basketball recently than they were, along the way of their 5-game losing streak at the beginning of conference play. But for me, I don't think they have enough in this one. I mean, they score a lot of their points in 2-point range. Ole Miss only gives up about 44% of their points via 2-point field goals. Chris Beard, one of the best defensive coaches in college basketball. I think Ole Miss defense, shines in this one, but also a team that takes care of the basketball, which is very important in these neutral site games, in these conference tournament games. They're top 30 in adjusted offensive efficiency. They take a fair amount of threes. They make them at a good rate. They're rested. I just think it's a good spot for them and a matchup that benefits Ole Miss. They only played one time this season. That was at Arkansas. That was a 7-point win for Ole Miss. I got to go with the Rebels in this one, lay the points in the neutral site. Next up, it's Ohio and Toledo. This one is going to be 1:30 Eastern on ESPN Plus. Now, Ohio just lost to Toledo 96-82 in the final game of the regular season. That was less than a week ago. And Toledo actually won both games of the season series by 3 and by 14. But Ohio is still the favorite in this game. And I think it makes sense because I think Ohio is still the better team in this one. They are playing now with double revenge, and I like their chances to pick up that revenge win and cover. I think both offenses are strong, but the defense, I give the advantage to Ohio. Both of these defenses I do think are a little bit underrated, but Toledo's still a team that doesn't force many turnovers. They're not a great defensive rebounding team. I think they're in trouble in this game. I think Ohio's going to be able to score in the upper 80s, maybe even the 90s, and this time around, I think it's going to be enough for the win and the cover. Toledo in that last game shot 69% from 2-point range, 90% from the free throw line. I just can't see those numbers replicating in this one. Ohio's really improved their defense since the beginning of the season. I think we see that in this one. I think they bounce back from that rough game. Give me Ohio in this one. I'm going to lay the points on the neutral site. Next up, it's Boise State and San Diego State. This one is 5:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. I've mentioned many times this season, I don't love the San Diego State team. I do think they fall here in the first round by a pretty good margin to Boise State. Now, when you look at this line, it's kind of similar to the Ohio-Toledo game because San Diego State won both games in the season series. These teams have identical conference records, but Boise State is still the favorite in this game. And Some may be surprised by that, and we could see the line go through 0. Maybe San Diego State ends up being the favorite. I don't think so, though, because I think Boise State should be favored. I think they should be favored by more points. I like their chances to win this game by a good margin. Shot quality-wise, the much better team, excellent rebounding team, excellent free throw shooting team. That's one of their biggest advantages in this game. Boise State ranked 23rd in the country in free throw shooting as a team, about 78%. San Diego State ranked 330th in the nation, 67%, so over 10% advantage. In a game like this where the spread is so close, free throws certainly matter. And, I don't think it's going to be that close by the end of it. I do think Boise State wins by a good margin. Like I said, I mentioned a few times, I just think the San Diego State defense is a little bit overrated. The offense isn't great. They're not a great shooting team. And, they've had some nice wins at home, like their most recent win over Nevada, a blowout victory, wire-to-wire win. But in the neutral site, on the road, I don't like their chances. I'm going to go Boise State in this one. I think they get their revenge in this one. Next up, it's Tarleton and Cal Baptist. This one, 11:30 Eastern on ESPN+. I don't like backing Tarleton away from home. They've had 12 wins this year. They're 12-19, but only 2 of those 12 were away from home. The one was a neutral site win over Hofstra. Not a great Hofstra team by just 2 points. The other one against the weakest team in this conference in Southern Utah. But I can't see a win here at the neutral site against Cal Baptist, and I don't think it's going to be a competitive game because while Tarleton is a very aggressive defense and they force a lot of turnovers, they're also ranked dead last in the nation in turnover percentage offensively, and those turnover numbers have been even worse when they're playing on the road. I think Cal Baptist is just a much better team fundamentally. Shot quality-wise, a better team as well. They have a huge advantage at the free throw line, and I think they get the win and the cover in this one. Give me Cal Baptist laying the points in this matchup. And that's it. Those are the games for Thursday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.